Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Modern and Modest with myself, Noshina Ghani. Yes, it is the festive time of the year. We are in peak December in Durban, and as we know, Durban really does get full. So with me today, we have the Senior Superintendent, Parbu Suprasad, who will assist us in keeping safe and save us the frustration of congested routes. Welcome, Parbu, to Modern and Modest, and it's indeed a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you.
So Parbu, before we even get into you assisting us or taking away the frustration of congestion and so forth, can you tell us more about what is the Metro Police mandate all about?
Okay, firstly, the Metro Police is the first Metro Police which was formed in the year 2000. It's one of the most formidable services in Durban, and our mandate is, firstly, in the following order, is traffic enforcement, bylaw enforcement, and crime prevention.
Okay, so that's quite a lot on your plate already, just with three, I would think.
Yes.
And Parbu, how long are you a part of Metro?
I've been in the service for 37 years, 37 years of passion and dedication to the badge.
Okay, and what do you find most rewarding about, being 37 years is a long time, so what have you found the most rewarding?
I think the support from the executive management throughout my career and the current management in Metro Police under the head of Metro Police, which is Steve Middleton, and his two deputies, which give me full support in my position that I hold.
Okay, so Parbu, with the Metro Police, can you tell us how many units fall under the Metro Police?
We have more than 20 units in the Metro Police, and some of the units are your mounted unit, your freeway unit, your bike patrol unit, your operations as well. In Metro Police we have various regions. Example, we have the central region, which is which compromises of the Durban beachfront, the CBD and the suburbs. We have the north region, which includes Umhlanga, Kaumashu, Tongaat, Verulam. We have the south areas, south region. The south region is Amanzimtoti, Umkomaas, Espingo. Then we have the inner west region, which is Pinetown. Then we have the outer west region, which is Hillcrest. So those are the regions, but with regards to the units, yes, we have the freeway unit, as I said. We have the MORT unit, which is newly formed, that deals with all the public protests that we see daily on our roads. The MORT unit is the multi-operational response team. It's made up of public order policing, the rapid response unit, the advance unit from Metro Police, the inspectorate unit, the unit that deals with the VIPs. So there's various units. Then there is various sections that you could go into Metro Police, which is the charge office, the communications, the control room, the CCTV room. These are various sections that you can get into. Then we also have the specialized unit in Metro Police that deal with all the specialized functions in Metro Police. Example, like the abnormal loads, the freeways, all these specialized fields within Metro Police.
You mentioned Mounties. I'm sure you have quite a few of those around now with the busy time of the year or having accessibility to congested areas. We tend to only see those during the festive periods.
Yes, we have 13 mounted units. We have 13 horses, and these horses are one of those that can disperse crowd. And you must understand that crowd is one of the most crucial things to disperse when you have a situation with crowd. And we get the mounted unit gets in and they disperse the crowd. That's the best thing ever that the city has had to disperse crowds. However, during the festive season, we have a situation, and people do not realize, on the beaches. When the beaches are about to close and the lifeguards are going off duty, the crowds, they just do not want to come off the water. And we call on the mounted unit to go into the water and
Have to
clear them out. And yes, some of the crowd, they actually take sand and they throw on the mounted unit, on the horses and the riders and the policemen. But they remove the crowd for their own safety during the festive season. That's a good story, and people do not know about what the mounted unit do during the festive season. And actually nowhere in the world they have something like this, where the mounted unit go into the sea, into the surf to clear people out.
And I had no idea that the beaches actually close at a certain time. So what time do the beaches actually close?
The beaches normally close at about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening. However, sometimes they look at the crowd, they assess the situation before they go off. And yes, I must allude to the fact that a few weeks ago we had a huge match in Durban, which was the S02 derby. And at 5 o'clock we had crowds of people in the water. And unfortunately we had one drowning. There were no lifeguards on duty at that particular moment and that time of the morning. But obviously these crowds came from far and wide, from other provinces to the match, and one person lost their life.
So where would your kid get a tag? Do you set up certain stations on the beach?
Yes, if you come to the Durban beach, there are stations set up. You will see it's highly visible, or you can ask people, the lifeguards, you can ask the policeman, where is the station set up? And this station is set up for all race groups.
Okay. That's brilliant. I think it gives parents that peace of mind, knowing that in the event they get lost, someone would be able to find the contact details or go through to a police officer or something at the beach. But do you find that with most people heading towards the beach, we know that causes the congestion, and I know for the past few years there's been this permit system. Is this permit system still in place, and has this been put in place already? I mean, from what date do you start putting out the permits?
Okay, the permit system is not in place for the Durban beachfront. We are doing away with the permit system only on the Durban beachfront. We have done an exercise last year, yes, and it has worked very well for us. We will manage and control the congestion along the Durban beachfront, and the congestion that we will see on the beachfront, we will do intermittent road closures to alleviate some of these congestions on the beachfront, and we will close off and open as we deem fit. The other beaches, like example, Mshloti, Westbrook Beach in the north, they will have their own permit system that they will introduce on the beachfront. The reason why they would introduce such permits on the beachfront, the area is small, and it becomes congested very, very, very quickly. So we need to implement some kind of measures for congestion in those areas. So we have a permit system in place for those areas, and the main reason to actually put these permit system in these beaches, the main reason why we have this permit system is when we have a situation of emergency, for an ambulance, for a fire engine to get there, we need to clear the way. And if we have congestion, you cannot gain access to the person that needs attention, or example for a fire in the building that has taken place. Yes, and we had this in the past. The south region beaches like Pipeline and Winkelspruit will also have the same kind of permit system in place.
Okay. Now, Parvo, with crowds heading towards the beachfront, we've got limited parking available on the Durban beachfront, and then you obviously get your public vehicles that come through to drop off passengers. And I know that Metro has implemented the park and ride system. So can you tell us more about the park and ride system? Where would this be stationed at, and how does it work?
Okay, the park and ride system worked quite well for us last year. As we said, the exercise worked, and we've reintroduced the park and ride system. The park and ride system, the location of the park and ride system will be at the Durban old driving site.
Okay.
And there will be, the public transport vehicles, example buses, taxis, can park the vehicles at the old Durban driving site, and the passengers or the commuters of such vehicles can use the park and ride facility that will pick them up from that location and take them alongside the beachfront to whichever location that they want to actually alight and go onto the beach. And yes, they can also take their belongings with them, but no cooler boxes with alcohol in it.
Okay.
So we are saying, what we are saying is that we are not going to promote, we're not going to encourage people to carry stuff in the cooler boxes which are alcohol. Then we have, for the public, once the parking gets full on the beachfront, we have identified the old Natal command site for private vehicles to park. The area will be fenced off for private vehicles to park. We will have security in those areas, so people that cannot park alongside or in front of the beachfront or outside the hotels, private people can park at the Natal command site.
So will this be a free parking facility, or is this going to be paid parking?
It will be a free parking facility. What we also noticed during the festive season, people tend to be impatient and they fight or argue amongst themselves for a parking spot. And we are asking and urging people, this is a festive season, enjoy yourself, be responsible. We don't want to see arguments, we don't want to respond to fights along the beachfront or along parking areas because of parking.
Okay, we'll be taking a quick ad break, and after the ad break we'll be chatting more to Parbu about safety, security and congestion. Okay, so Parbu, with regards to our routes, routes heading into Durban, so many people out of Durban head this way, whether it just be half an hour away from Durban, you're looking for the quickest and easiest route to get in. So what are some of the routes that our drivers could use?
Okay, if you're coming from Johannesburg, then the suggested route is obviously the N3 through Marion Hill Toll, or the alternate route is the M13 via Fields Hill. If you're coming from the north, in other words, you're coming from Lundi, Stanger, then the route is the N2. Alternate to the N2 is the scenic route, the M4 to Durban, into Durban. If you're traveling from the south, example from Margate, Potchefstroom area, then the N2 is advisable to use, and the M4 from the old airport into Durban. So those are those routes. Sometimes those routes become congested, sometimes also due to accidents the routes are closed. So I would advise motorists that are coming into Durban to have some traffic alerts, or go onto some traffic alerts and see what alternate routes, so they don't become congested and frustrated.
Okay, so speaking of routes and motorists driving for some time, you also find that not all motorists are compliant or because you're in this holiday mood, a festive spirit, do you find that there's quite a few people that are drinking and driving? And if so, how do you alleviate this?
I must allude to the fact that so far this year, from January to now, the Metro Police have arrested 5,033 drunken drivers, and that's quite a large amount.
Is that just for KZN?
That's only for the Durban area, not only for KZN. So we have roadblocks continuously, and we intensify our roadblocks and our locations during the festive season. What we also have noticed that once the roadblocks are conducted, people go onto social media and they post on social media where these roadblocks are. This is actually defeating the ends of justice.
Yes.
And if those culprits are found, they will be charged. But yes, during this festive season, just as what we do regularly, but we will intensify our roadblocks in the Durban area. Some of these roadblocks, when you see the booze bus, doesn't mean to say that the roadblock is going to be there. The roadblock is not going to be in that location. We're going to have roving roadblocks where the police cars will patrol and pick up or net drunken drivers on some of the major routes and bring them to the booze bus or the new alcohol evidence center that we have set up.
So apart from drinking and driving, do you find that today every individual's got a smartphone and we don't adhere to the rules of driving or the safety of yourself or other individuals that are on the road? How do you find texting and driving? Do you pick up a lot of that?
Oh yes, texting and driving is, if you compare drunken driving and the results of drunken driving and the crashes and the crash tests, texting and driving is even worse, more horrific, more gruesome. People we have seen who have landed themselves in a wheelchair. I've just been to a conference by the UN, which was training and research, and one of the most issues that were discussed there was the texting and driving by all provinces and by United Nations as a whole. So texting and driving is not only a problem in South Africa, it's a problem, it's global, it's throughout the world. And yes, we are going to emphasize on texting and driving as well.
So just briefly, could you take us through compliance, just through some compliance with motorists that are out on the road?
I think during this festive season, I think motorists need to comply with the police officials' instructions. Whether you are going to the beach, whether you're going to the shopping center, whether you are approaching a scene of an accident, because what we have noticed is the attitudes of people, community, drivers, commuters in taxis, they have a very bad attitude towards the police. So we are asking and urging them, please, those police personnel out there, they're also doing their work. So please cooperate with them. We also understand that during the festive season, people are going to be traveling long hours. Stop, have a break. Think of yourself. If you are tired, have a break.
Okay, so Prabhu, just with wrapping up the show, what tips could you share with our viewers, just generally, with enjoying the holiday and yet keeping to what we've just discussed?
We want the people that come to Durban to enjoy the summer love that Durban has, and enjoy the beaches, enjoy the malls around Durban. But at the same time, be responsible, behave responsibly, and also watch your back. There's criminal elements all over, all provinces. Just be careful and ensure that you are safe at all times.
Okay, so a message to our viewers from our Senior Superintendent Parpasu Prasad: enjoy the summer love, but with just being a little bit more responsible. Welcome back to Modern and Modest, and with myself today we have our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Fauzia Peer. Assalamu alaikum, Deputy Mayor, and welcome to Modern and Modest.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Naushina, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, it's been such an honor to have you on our show today. Alhamdulillah.
I'm actually very honored to be here with all of you today. Thank you for inviting the municipality.
So, Deputy Mayor, we are now in the festive period and Durban's always buzzing. So let's talk about Durban and how is Durban preparing for this festive period?
Well, I must say that in preparation for the festive season, the municipality has convened a festive season management committee. It's called FESMAC in mnemonics. We always have that annually. And this comprises of all the various units of the municipality and also external stakeholders. Mainly we have the departments, the different clusters like parks, DSW, My Metro Police is there, as well as business support. So they put together a comprehensive plan to ensure the smooth and also hassle-free running of the city during the busy period. So far, every year we had absolutely no problems, and it went according to plan. Now, during the festive season, you'll find that the committee meets every second day to give an assessment of the respective areas of responsibility, and they also discuss any challenges and issues that may arise thereafter. In fact, this morning, my committee had a meeting whereby we called the person in charge of this FESMAC program, and it was presented to the committee. So some of the preparations also include like activation of the beach buddy, and also child minding programs, like if children are lost, then we have a special area where they are taken on, and if there are also programs for children that are around with their parents to keep them occupied as well. And then this program, particularly the children's program, is instrumental in ensuring that children who come from far and wide, the different provinces, the beach are tagged with wristbands. They are given wristbands so that the parents find them immediately in case they get lost. And that contains parents, guardians, details on it. We came about with this idea last year, and it worked very, very well. So we also have the park and ride system, and which assists people to go and park their vehicles at this park and ride. Also the command center, that's where vehicles are parked. And then we will have the India style tuk-tuks or shuttles.
Okay, right.
And the shuttles will pick up the people every 30 minutes and take them through to the beaches. So that will, in a way, assist in the congestion of traffic in the main areas of the beach. And this time we may not have the permit style. We may issue permits, but for residents, but we're still working on that. Also, as I said, the traffic management plan is also activated. This is done also with ETA as well. And so specific roads leading to the beachfront are completely closed off. In fact, we started it now, and they are complaining at the Blue Lagoon. We have the entrances all blocked off, and because of heavy traffic. And also drunkards, you'll find people want to go and drink and throw bottles around. So one has to manage the traffic very well. So the boom gates are placed from now. So we also have, as I said, the park ride system, whereby the old drive-in site, if you know, old drive-in site where shuttles are going to ferry the passengers to the beach. And also this will be a kind of a 30 minutes, you know, stretch. So people have to just wait and not get angry with us. Okay. So this is going to be done daily basis throughout the festive season. Ablution facilities will be placed there, because some may ask that if you have this drive-in stoppages, what's going to happen if people want to go to toilets?
Yes.
So we do have ablution blocks there, which will be well managed in the drive-in sites, and also other areas where we're going to have them to park. So also added to that will be seasonal lifeguards. Now these seasonal lifeguards, and also we'll have pool guards, and are also engaged to ensure that sufficient manpower will be around, so that they would be able to control what is going on.
I guess it also makes it very convenient with the way we've been planning on
Yes.
every 30 minutes having those intervals,
Yeah.
allowing
Yeah.
people to get to where they need to get to.
The main thing is to make sure that the management of the traffic is there, and people get very angry if they are stuck in traffic for many hours, and you know the aggressiveness comes out, and the polices are unable to manage them. So we have to make sure that these are well controlled.
Okay, so Deputy Mayor, can you tell us, with so much of preparation, I mean there's a lot that you've just mentioned now, when does the city actually start preparing for this?
The FESMAC preparations always start in October. In fact, my committee today decided that it should not be only a seasonal thing, a festive seasonal thing. We have, you know, other times like the Easter weekends when it gets very busy. So they should have an ongoing program, and possibly we'll think about that later. So we start in October, and by then the different representatives would be, they'll be ready. Mind you, we also got Durban Chamber part of this as well, yeah, as outside stakeholders. So they start preparing their plans. They meet with the managers of all the hotels around the area, and then the UIP gets involved. So these are the stakeholders that will then decide when and how it should be finally decided. So as from, I would say, the 1st of December, the plans are rolled out.
With Durban being so full and busy, we tend to attract many tourists. So how much of revenue would you say that tourism brings to our city in terms of monetary value?
Well, I must say that with the Soweto Derby alone, a game between, we had Pirates and Chiefs, you know, we contributed to the GDP of this province close to about 200 million. Now, can you imagine that amount? So reason being that the, you know, scores of soccerites, of fans, they descend to our city. And our restaurants and also hotels are infested with these soccer-loving fans. So we're reaching towards sports destination now, you know. So it does not need rocket science, you know, to ascertain that during the festive season we could triple this easily. So because of the scores of tourists, both international and domestic, are definitely coming down and settle for weeks. I would say that tourism really is the answer to this, you know. So it remains one of the fastest growing. And Durban, being a destination, it's a tourist destination, we are on the fast lane with that, I must say. So branches and it's fastest growing towards, I would say, the central for job creation, which will help our unemployment presently, and also the poverty rate is high. So all this really assists us, to double up our economy. So youth unemployment, this assists the youth as well with employment, and also creates various economic activities, or also opportunities for them. We also discussed, or before I go to that, I would say tourism is estimated to about 30% of the GDP, and is one of the major job creator and in our province. So the city of Durban, the Tigweni, has invested over 7.6 billion towards capital infrastructure and development and tourism related programs aimed at promoting destinations and attractions as well. So currently about 3.8 million tourists visit Durban.
Well, I think it all goes with how you, with all your preparation and how attractive you make the city for tourists.
I think that's the answer. It's how we plan ourselves, how attractive we make it, and how it's going to assist our triple challenges that we have, and which I stated: job creation, unemployment, and poverty. So the city has played, I would say, host to major international events and conferences over the years, including, but not limited to NAM, NAM or COP17 or BRICS or HICA, HICA they call it, and also the 13th International AIDS Conference, of course, has been awarded to host tourism in Indaba for the next 5 years. So we're okay with that as well. So Indaba is one of the premier tourism platform, in that we discuss the growth and economic development of our tourism industry as well. Now, it's also expected to generate an estimated of about 500 million in economic impact for the city. And so I hear, yes, and the province over the next 5 years, hopefully. And in the 2016, 2017, hopefully Indaba will attract at least 18,500 visitors. We are hoping so, with an economic contribution, I would say, of about 26.2 million, hopefully, yes. And also, if you say, if we go back to our Madiba's centenary year, which we're celebrating now, one would say the 100th Madiba anniversary, our emphasis is on guided tours to the popular Woza Inanda. You must go there, it's very interesting, and heritage route. We must take our schools there, our children, to see this Inanda area. And it's most interesting, and you learn a lot from the Gandhi settlement that is there as well. So Inanda is of importance, as it is where, I would say, the late former Nelson Mandela, he casted his first vote in Inanda at the voting station. And we're very proud of that. So, yes, I would say that this is now an opportune time or moment for people to visit Inanda, as I explained to you now, that please go over, take our children. It's safe. It's always safe. To commemorate his life, of course, and also there are guided tours. We do have the open bus, that you can take the children and visit the place. Again, the settlement of Phoenix, the Mandela voting site, and also Dr. J.L. Dube's house is something to look at. And for us, it's all systems go. That's what it is. And we are ready to receive for them. We are ready to receive them. Anyone who comes over to visit our sites. And we have, of course, very good museums that we should also visit. We are so hospitable in Durban, in a sense that we want them, when they go back, to be ambassadors of our city. Talk good about it, that this is what we are in Durban producing and showcasing.
We'll be taking a quick ad break, and join us after the ad break with our Deputy Mayor. Now, Deputy Mayor, during this festive period, we know that there's a lot of wastage, and how do you manage waste management and recycling here in Durban?
Well, we have, for all these festive seasons, we do have teams, teams in every corner of the streets, and these teams are responsible for cleaning and collection of waste around the city, and particularly around the beach area where we have crowds and crowds of people coming in. You'll be surprised the amount of waste we collect. Even packing them makes it a bit difficult. So on a daily basis during the festive season, this will go on and on. Shifts, we have different shifts. There's one that starts 6 in the morning right up to 2:30, and then there's another at 3 o'clock right up to 23 hours. And then you'll find 22 hours right up to 5:30. It goes on. In fact, even today, every day, that's what they do. And over and above this, the municipality has engaged 12 contractors just for the festive season. We have 12 contractors from local areas, and who will be responsible for litter picking, at the different beaches, around the hotels, and the frontages, the pavements, and they would do that job. And we have deliberately targeted the emerging contractors, to ensure that there's radical economic transformation. We have cooperatives that will engage in this job as well.
So, Deputy Mayor, can you tell us what are some of the Durban musts that you would recommend to our viewers?
I would say that our city is home to numerous tourist attractions. From adrenaline, moving fast or fueled adventures to family-orientated activities. So, or simply a relaxed holiday, just a relaxed holiday on the beach. Durban offers something for everyone, always. So due to the, I would say, it's mild climate, we have one of the best climate compared to every province. Durban has laid back outdoor lifestyle, providing fun-filled activities for the children on the promenade, and even for adults to walk on the promenade. It's safe, and it's definitely going to be crime-free. I'm going to assure everyone that there's absolutely nothing to worry about. We're going to have bobbies on the beat. Metro Police are going to be doing their rounds, and they're going to be very safe. So just don't think twice not to go to the beach. You are there to enjoy it. So we also have mountain biking and diving as well. Now for those who are looking for maybe relaxed beach holidays, Durban has a long stretch of coastline which provides a multitude of golden beaches which will leave visitors spoiled for choice. I don't think I should add more to that, because they know what Durban gives them: hiking, or even visits to cultural villages. We have them all. Just half an hour's drive out of the city, you will go straight to our other areas, like for instance the beachfront and the ocean, okay, and also the Ushaka Marine World. And then we have Moses Mabhida Stadium, and it's one of its iconic structure, which you should never leave Durban without taking a ride in one of those, what do they call them? Cable cars, yeah. And even those 500 steps, those are one of the best. You can go up, but you can't come down because you get so tired. So it's things that you can enjoy. And also you have the rickshaw. The mayor lately, she launched the new rickshaws. Previously, rickshaws were only in the beachfront, the promenade. Now we have rickshaws going towards the north and the south.
So, Deputy Mayor, just in concluding our show today, what would you like to say to our viewers that are on holiday this year? What message would you like to give them?
I would like to urge all tourists to come to our city in multitudes to have fun, and to ensure that a hassle-free holiday, that you prepare your holiday before arriving in Durban, so that you are well managed even yourself. Ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy. We don't want Metro Police to stop you and then to tell you that, listen, you don't have certain things on your car that is not working, your indicators or whatever. So ensure that you wear your seat belts at all time, and don't drink and drive. That is very important. That's a message I want to give to everyone. Please do not drink and drive. It's not only your life, it's the life of the other as well. We will not allow anyone to take bottles into the beachfront. Never. It's not going to be allowed at all. Our law enforcement officers are going to be very strict. They are given strict instructions not to allow any drinkers to be around. So, and they will be in full force to ensure that all bylaws will be adhered to very strictly. And this is not only Metro Police, even SAPS. Together they are going to do that to ensure the safety of everyone in the city. They will also be aided by drones. We have introduced drones, but still in a very, very low key. We're still working on it. It's not in full force, but it's a very, very innovative program, that's going to help the city, and mainly in the city center. So we're looking at that for all tourists to be safe. We also encourage our patrons to look after the environment. Try not to throw litter on the floor. Try not to throw bottles on the floor, your Coke cans, your Coke drinks, bottles. Try not to do that. Look after the environment. So important. And do not throw Coke tins out of the window while the car is, moving. Yeah. And also that we have provided bins. There will be lots of bins all over, and the city center in the beach area, and we urge patrons to make use and dispense or dispose of their litter. And you might have heard a little bit of negative news on the syringes. The syringes were found very long ago, about last year sometimes, and there will not be any syringes anymore in the beach. So we have stopped TB-HIV from giving out any syringes to the drug addicts. So be rest assured, those syringes will not be anywhere on the floors, because that was some negativity that was on carte blanche. And one would say, please just enjoy yourself in the beach. Also, we would have large amount of people coming in from other provinces. I would say try for Durbanites to allow them to enjoy themselves, and for you to take a bit of a back seat and go to our outlining beaches, so that you don't get into any aggressive moods with the rest of them, because they have come to enjoy themselves. And if you find anything that is wrong in the festive season, in the beaches, please do not show any hostile anger or hostility, but contact our nearest police station, which will be in the beachfront, and please go and lodge your complaints, or directly call me, because this is 1 year I'm not going out on a holiday. So I will be fully in charge, and I will even walk around the beach one of the days. Thank you so much for inviting me, the municipality, Ithigweni. Thank you very much.
It's such a pleasure having you on our show. So that was our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Fawzia Pierce. So a beautiful message. Enjoy Durban, have fun, but in a responsible way.